Hello, I'm Kyle Lacroix from Sets Consulting, and this is episode 7 of Sets Stories. Today, I want to talk about appreciation and appreciating the little things. So, I want this to be a disclaimer. This isn't my social commentary or even a metaphor for the bigger things that are going on right now around the world and across our country. But this is a nice story with a happy ending that hopefully can give you a smile. And I think sometimes a smile is exactly what we need right now. So here it goes. In early 2017, it was late winter, early spring. I had received a call from some Jeopardy producers to be on the TV show, or at least to have an audition to be on the TV show. 9 months earlier, I had done a nationwide online test, and I'd done pretty well on it, I guess. And they liked me, and so they invited me up to. They gave me a couple different cities and a couple different dates, and what dates worked for me and what city. And so I chose New York. And I thought, well, they're paying for myself and a guest. So let me think who I could bring with me on this trip. Someone that, you know, I like and deserves it and I know is going to be a good travel companion. And so I thought, you know what? Let me invite my mom. It's an early birthday present, and let me go all out. I'll get first class seats. She's never flown first class on an airplane, and she's never been to New York City. So I thought, boom, this will absolutely make her weekend. So called her up, told her the deal, no problem. And the time came. We flew out of West Palm Beach Airport, and from when we got into the airport, it was just a bad omen. I probably should have turned around, just went home and canceled the trip. But we got to the security line, and there was an issue with the security line, and that got backed up by about 45 minutes. And so then we kind of thought we might miss our flight. We finally get to the gate. We didn't miss our flight, but about 15 minutes went by, 30 minutes went by, and finally one of the gate agents said, there's an issue with the plane. We have mechanics on it right now. They're going to try to fix it. So 1 hour led to 2 hours, 2 hours led to 3 hours. Finally, they come back on and say, we fixed the issue, but then we discovered another issue. So we're just going to change planes. All of your luggage will be moved over, not a problem. But that plane is en route from New York City right now. So once it arrives, it'll just turn around and fly us all back. So we had planned on arriving in New York by about 6 p.m., 6:30 p.m. We didn't get in till 12:30 a.m. the next morning. So we were about 6 hours behind. And my audition for Jeopardy was supposed to be at 9 a.m. But I figured, okay, just get to the hotel, get some sleep. Everything should be good. So as we get to New York and we land, we go to baggage claim, and my mom's bag is the first one off the carousel. I was like, perfect, this is great. My bag is going to be right after, not a problem. And I waited for my bag, and I waited, and I kept waiting, and my bag never arrived. So I had to go to the baggage claim customer service, and which was a lovely experience. Being facetious when I say that, of course. And I had to fill out a claim and all that stuff, and that was a bit of a bummer. But I was foolishly optimistic that I was still going to get my luggage somehow well before 9 a.m. that same morning. So anyways, so now my mom has her luggage, and I'm now waiting for my driver. I have a friend in New York who is a professional driver, so he always comes and picks me up. But because it was so late, he had other commitments, so he wasn't able to. So he calls his buddy. His buddy's able to come and get me, but I don't know who his buddy is, and I don't know what car his buddy drives. And so that was a bit of a wild goose chase, just trying to find each other through all this chaos. And so finally we get into the city, and it's a steady drizzle in the city. The weather wasn't the best the whole weekend. And we've come to find out that there's some construction going on around our hotel. So we can't really drive up to the door of the hotel. He has to drop us off like 2 blocks away in the rain. So at this point, I don't care. I just want out. I want to get to the hotel, just hop in bed, get some rest. So here I am. It's now about 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the morning in New York City. I'm walking down Midtown Manhattan with a bright pink suitcase. Of course, I'm a gentleman. I'm going to carry it for my mom. But we finally get to the hotel, and we walk in, and I am just so relieved. We finally made it and check into the reception, and she says, "One moment, Mr. Lacroix, I'll be right back." And I said, "Is everything okay? Is there a problem?" She said, "No, absolutely not. I just need to check on something." At this point, I kind of knew how the trip was going, so I was already thinking the worst. And she comes back about a minute later, very nice, and says, "Mr. Lacroix, I'm so sorry, but we gave your room away. You arrived too late, and you didn't really call us." Now, of course, I couldn't call them because I wasn't expecting to be there that late, and I was on a flight for the last couple hours. And she says, we gave your room away. We have a full hotel. We have a couple conventions going on at the same time. I'm terribly sorry. Here's $20 for a cab fare and this voucher. Go up to one of our sister hotels, 15 blocks uptown, and they can take care of you. So I can't say I was surprised at this point the way the trip was going, but I soldiered on, told my mom the situation. So we got a cab, went to 15 blocks uptown, got into the hotel, which was a very nice hotel. But at this point, I really wasn't looking around for the aesthetics and all the amenities. I just wanted a bed. So staff was great, and they gave us a key, sent us up to our room. Fantastic, beautiful hotel room. I walk in, and what do I see? I see one king-size bed. At this point, I was 35 years old, 36 years old. I'm not sharing a bed with my mom at this point. So now we have to go all the way back down, go back to reception, explain the situation. They apologized. They gave us another room, went back up. Finally, there were two queen-size beds. And I just think I shut my eyes and I just passed out immediately. I was exhausted. Wake up the next morning early, hoping for a call, an email, a text message, something from the airline saying, "Hey, we found your bag and it's on its way to the hotel. Everything's going to be great." Instead, nothing. No email, no phone call, no notification whatsoever on my airline app that I had. Nothing. So by this point, I was really stressed because I knew this Jeopardy audition is done. I don't have the paperwork to give them so they can reimburse me for the trip. And not just that, but checkout was pretty early for that hotel. They just wanted us out so we could go back to the original hotel that I was supposed to stay at that kicked us out the first time because they gave my room away. So now we're trying to rush just to get out of the hotel, and because I was stressed, my high blood pressure at the time, I was shaving, and of course, I didn't have my toiletry bag because that was in my luggage that never showed up, and so I made the mistake of using one of those hotel razors, and I ended up cutting myself. I nicked myself right in the neck, and of course, my stress level was high, so my blood was pumping, could not stop the bleeding, tried just about every remedy you could, even raided the mini bar for some stuff, and to no avail. And so I'm still bleeding, and I check out of this hotel, a very nice hotel in Midtown Manhattan, with their washcloth around my neck with blood pouring out of it. Not the best exit by any means. Get into a cab. Blood is still pumping, running down my neck. We go back to the original hotel. We finally check into a room. that they fortunately had opened early for us. We get there, and it's still a rainy day, still dreary, gray skies. So now I'm on the phone the entire day, and I had plans to go to the audition, come back, take my mom around, give her a full tour of the city, show her everything that she wants to see. It's going to be an amazing day. But instead, it was spent in this hotel room, me juggling on my phone between the airlines, the hotels, everything else. Still no sight of my bag whatsoever. And it was a very long weekend. It was a long 72 hours, and I remember on the way back, I was so relieved to get out of the city. New York City kicked my butt that weekend, but we finally made it home. Still no sign of my luggage. I arrived back at our original airport that we took off from, West Palm Beach, and I talked to the service rep for the baggage claim, and still no sight of my bag. So now my bag is completely lost. But I get home, and as soon as I walk in the door, my dad calls me on my cell phone. And my dad says, "Hey, Kyle, how's the trip?" And I say, "Dad, it was an awful trip." And I just go off, and I rant and I rave about everything that went wrong, and just how it was just the most awful, no good, terrible trip I've ever been on. And I said, "You know what? I can't talk about this anymore." I give the phone to my mom. I said, "Mom, here, you talk to Dad." And I hear my dad ask my mom the same question he asked me, which was, "How was the trip?" And my mom said, "The trip was amazing. It was great. It was the best trip I ever had because I got to spend time with my son." How about that? So, same trip for both people, but two completely different experiences. So, for me, I took the trip as it was terrible and horrendous, and everything that went wrong or that could have gone wrong went wrong. And for my mom, she loved it just because she was with me. Now, I know some of you watching this or listening to this are probably going to say, "Well, she's your mom. She's going to say that that's what moms do." But it was the way she said it. She was being genuine about it, and she appreciated the fact that she was with me. Wasn't the hotel or flying first class or any of those other things. Or I did take her out to a couple nice meals, just trying to kind of lift my spirit, but that still didn't work. But she loved it because she got to spend time with her son. So what an amazing attitude to have. And that's pretty much my mom in a nutshell. But hopefully some of you listening can take that attitude. You can appreciate those little things. And so that's my Jeopardy story. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it. And please check us out on our website, www.setsconsult.org. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye.